Libertarians have wedge issues. I'm sure Republicans have wedge issues. Democrats have wedge issues, things that people within the monoliths disagree about. And most of what I've seen you promote as far as policy and principles for the American Capitalist Party is things that libertarians do largely agree with. One thing I have not seen you talk about, I'm sure you might have, I just haven't seen it and gone looking for it, is a major wedge issue for libertarians, and that's the border and immigration.
Okay.
Where you have the open borders and the free movement and free migration of people versus closed borders and national security types. Where would your American Capitalist Party fall on that issue?
I mean, I think it's Ellis Island rules. You know, keep the criminals and the people with communicable diseases out. Anybody else who wants to come in and work and live and be law-abiding, why not? Certainly, there are business interests that are connected to politics now that would attempt to keep, you know, this new influx of labor and new market out for various reasons. But I think that's immoral. I think you have a right to move from one place to another to better your condition. We don't own America. America isn't ours. We have a body. We have a governing body here and a set of principles that we abide by. Part of which incorporates and embraces the idea of liberality, of freedom, of the fact that if you live in a crap area and have the capacity to better your life, do it. That's your right as a human being, and we should not prevent that passage unless there's some real potential harm from that person entering by having a communicable disease, for example, or having a criminal record, a violent criminal record, where it's likely they're going to come in here and harm people. Keep them out. Keep those guys out. We don't need them.
Now, what if the communicable disease does get in?
Well, then you have to isolate that person. The one part, I think government, we have this situation going on right now where the government has grossly overstepped its bounds, and there's fanatics on both sides now using government force to mandate this or take away mandates. What's lost in the mix between the two tribes is choice. Now, I do think of a person as a walking time bomb, like a typhoid Mary, and like our whim worshipping pal in the beginning of our discussion, roaming around and doesn't give a fuck who he infects. The government is obligated to do something about that person, to isolate them and contain them for our health. That's protecting our right to life, and also not. It's also putting force. It's also deferring force in a rational way, as opposed to us taking up arms as a community, beating the fuck out of the guy and setting him on fire, or whatever, you know, the community would do to think they're expunging themselves of the guy who's carrying the disease. So yeah, the government has a legitimate place to quarantine sick people, but not healthy people, sick people.